What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Junglejims podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Junglejims podcast. I'm your host, Mark. Welcome to the show. Listen, we did a whole big episode about this last week, but I just want to remind you, we've only got through August 11th to come in to the Eastgate Junglejims and take advantage of the One Piece card game pop-up shop that's going on there. Now, we've also got the Bandai Namco Gashapon machines. Those will be there till September 30th, but you definitely want to come check out the card shop. It's really unique. It's only one of just a handful in the whole country. A very cool time. This is one of those things where I like to remind people to get the Junglejims app, because on there we've got savings, you've got updates, you can watch episodes of the podcast. It's an easy way to stay in touch with us. You can do that there. You can also, if you love events, you can get on Eventbrite and you can follow us up there. But one of the things I keep mentioning, not just the events on Eventbrite, where you can follow all of our upcoming things like the Weekend of Fire Hot Sauce Festival that's coming up, but through the app. I know we've talked about this a bunch, and I think I've been giving you slightly off information that I was always saying. I was like, oh, the night before Monday, you can actually check out the weekly ad. Well, guess what? It actually turns out it's Thursday. So you get multiple days to check out the coming week's ad, which I think is pretty cool. Give you an idea. That way you can plan ahead a little bit, and you can keep telling everybody, like, wow, their prices are really good. Yeah, I miss that a lot. Well, hopefully I'm nearing the end of my recovery. I think it's just another couple weeks before I'm back to the studio. Oh gosh, you have no idea how bad I've missed this. I never want to be in my house ever again as long as I live. Like, all I can think about is just hitting the open road. Is that weird? Is that crazy? Like, no, it's so insane. Oh my gosh, I've been so stir crazy. But it's been fun still getting to make the show for all of you, so I really appreciate that. And one of the things that's been great for me is I keep getting stuff sent here to try, all that good stuff. But this is what this week's episode is actually a fun one, because this is one I've been planning since before I left. I was really excited to put this together because I'd gotten samples of this early in the summer, and it was one of my new favorite things that came to the store. And because I've been in a bit of a weird emotional situation since June, I occasionally needed this action. So we got this product in called ShineWater. ShineWater, their whole thing, it's your daily dose of vitamin D. They're these delicious drinks. I really, really, really like them. You've probably seen me talk about them on TikTok and Instagram or something like that. But I was able to sit down with their head of marketing as well as their CEO to talk about the products, because I really love them and I think you all should know about them. And more importantly, I think you should all try them. But I think this is one of those episodes we're going to just dive right into it. So let's jump over and let's learn a little bit about ShineWater together. Oh, it's time to shine, everyone. I've been promising this episode for a little bit, and we finally got it together, thanks to me. Wait, that sounds bad. I didn't really do anything except be well enough to finally take the call. Anyway, now that I've ruined this entire intro, let me introduce you to Michelle and Claire from ShineWater. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us. We've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Well, first, I guess, Michelle, go first if you want to. That's how the lineup looks on my Google Meet right now. So, Michelle, tell me, who are you? What do you want us to know?
Michelle Zervalik. I've been with ShineWater since January of 2020. I think I was employee number 4.
Cool.
Which makes me not only one of the oldest people on the team, but the most tenured. And I came here, I worked with Matt and Rod, the owners, on several projects before I worked with them in ShineWater. And they are just really good humans. Couldn't wait to see what they were doing when they brought ShineWater into Michigan, brought the corporate office to Bay City. It was just a perfect fit as far as I was concerned. And have been just having a blast ever since I started.
I love that. And what exactly is your role within the company?
I'm the marketing manager, so I get to do all the fun stuff. You know, I
Perfect.
Get to go shopping for all the supplies. I get to do all the creative stuff. We get to dabble in social. So it's a fun retirement gig for me, so to speak.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, the current version of retirement where you still just go to work.
Yeah, because I would drive my husband nuts if I was home all the time. So, you know.
Oh, I get that all too well. As the person driving people nuts I definitely understand. That's awesome. Well, of course, welcome. And Claire, if you'd introduce yourself as well.
You bet. And what I'll add to Michelle, she's the glue that keeps everyone together. I've referred to her as the wizard behind the curtain before. So Michelle, we could not operate without Michelle. But my name is Claire Verdery. I'm the CEO of ShineWater. I joined about a year ago. I'm actually based remote in Denver, Colorado, but I go to visit the team about once a month and then travel to meet with distributors and customers as well. And my background, I was at Coca-Cola working on some of the larger brands. And then I moved over to Honest, which is Honest Tea and Honest Kids Juice Drink. That kind of gave me a sense of what it's like to work for some of the smaller brands that were started by entrepreneurs and then sold to larger companies. So after Coca-Cola, I joined a startup spring water company called Proud Source Water, and I'm here today and excited to be part of the team. We've got a great team and we've learned a lot over the last year and really excited to chat with you today.
That's so cool. What an interesting experience. Oh my gosh, I have so many questions about all of these, but we'll get to them eventually. Well, let's, I know I'm sure in the fuller version of the episode, anybody jumping in right now got a little spiel from my take on what ShineWater is, which a delicious low-cal beverage with sunshine in a can, right? To use the branding. But why don't you all put in your words, like how would you describe ShineWater to, explain it like I'm 5?
Well, it's really good is the 5-year-old version. So every kid that tries it absolutely loves it. And it makes people happy. So our claim to fame, of course, is that in every can we have 100% vitamin D, which was a real issue for most people in the United States, because unless you live in Southern Florida or Southern California or one of the really warm states, we're inside, 8 months of the year. So it's hard to get that vitamin D. So rather than take a supplement, you get to get a twofer, really. You get really good hydration, great flavor, and vitamin D.
Mm-hmm. I'll add to that the formula was actually created by a physician by the name of Dr. Davis, based in South Carolina. And in addition to the vitamin D, he added magnesium and zinc. And magnesium and zinc are intentionally added to help with your body's absorption of vitamin D. So those are probably a few other things that we like to share with consumers when they're asking questions about the brand.
That's beautiful. And, I got to say, from the moment you all first showed up in the store, I grabbed a can or two. Anytime something new comes in, I get excited, especially I am a beverage guy through and through. So I get very excited when a new drink comes in. The first one I tried was a strawberry lemonade, and it instantly just hit for me on all those notes where it was incredibly refreshing, and you could just, I hate to say it, but you try so many of these like hydration and somewhat nutrition focused drinks. And I find that pretty high success rates where I notice I'm like, oh, I actually feel like I took something in good. But you were definitely one of those ones that an hour after the can, I was like, I am feeling in an oddly good mood today. I had like all those kind of like, listen to your body reactions. I was very surprised, and in a great way. And I've been really, really happy with the line. So I'm so excited that you're in the store. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry. I was just agreeing. We are too. We couldn't be happier to be part of Junglejims.
That's so cool.
Environment.
What was the ideation process like for these? Like, where did this come from? What were we trying to fill a hole in the market or something like that?
Well, I think like what Claire explained, that Dr. Davis he was an FDA physician at the time, and he was seeing a lot of vitamin D deficiency in his practice. So he devised a way to get, really good vitamin package in a great tasting water. And Rod and Matthew, the owners, were early investors with him, and they bought the company in October of 2019, I believe it was, and brought it to Michigan. And we rebranded to the new cans. I'm probably going to hold this up, and this will be the only time I hold it up because I don't want to spill it. But the fruit forward, less medicinal, really bright and vibrant, is really what we want to be on the shelf to draw people in. And it's working. People love it once they try it. So,
were there any difficulties in coming, you mentioned the repackaging. What was the old packaging like, for example?
It was very medicinal looking. It was white, and it didn't really, it didn't really communicate what was in the in the bottle at the time, because when we started, we were in plastic bottles. So we recently converted to cans because they're just more eco-friendly, easier to produce, better on the shelf.
Sure.
So I think that was the first challenge. And thankfully they had decided all that before I got on the team. I came in and said, oh yeah, I agree. These look fantastic, And since then we've added a few flavors, taken a couple out of the lineup. Maybe they'll come back at some point. But it's been a cool process to be a part of.
Yeah. To add to what Michelle said, I would say, it started out as a more medicinal looking beverage package, and it's now turned into convey something fun and exciting. And you see the vibrant colors on shelf and they really kind of pull you in. And I think converting from the PET bottle to the can has helped that even more, because it does feel like an even more vibrant offering on shelf. But what's even better about it is your product stays colder in an aluminum can. So that's some of the positive feedback that we've received. Some consumers have been surprised to know that it's not a sparkling beverage, but surprised in a positive way. So I think if we do update our packaging even further, we'll probably further communicate the fact that it's a still beverage, no bubbles or something along those lines. But the package changes have definitely helped to drive incidents on shelf.
Yeah, I really love how vibrant it looked. I mean, it's fun. It again, was something like a brand name like ShineWater and in the sunshine in the can ideology there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it fit so well, and I thought it looked really great on the shelves. It was one of those ones that I was like, you can imagine from my perspective, since I'm trying like 8 million drinks a year or something like that, I'm trying to find a happy medium, because, you'll find something where the branding's like, in my opinion, at least a little off, and you're like, oh, there's a great product in here. Hopefully this sticks around. I think you guys nailed it here, because it was like a combination of both, where it was like, all right, this delicious drinks in here. The cans look fun. They really hit the note of, when I hear sunshine in a can, I visualize what I see behind you there, Michelle. Gosh, I hate to sound like such a shill, but I really have been drinking the hell out of these, and I've really, really enjoyed them. So I've been trying to tell people, and to your note, Claire, I was also one of those people that anticipated it being a sparkling beverage as well. And too, pleasantly surprised. Like, I really do love them still. That said, I would also drink these carbonated if that was an option, but curious to note, I didn't realize that it would stay colder in an aluminum can either. I guess it probably makes sense. I'm sure a casual Google of like thermal dynamics with regards to packaging would help, but at the same time, I had no idea.
Yes, it will. And you may or may not know about our kids product. I think you're selling our can product right now, but we also recently introduced a kids Tetra pack. So it's a 0 calorie, 0 sugar beverage for kids, where they get a strong amount of vitamin D as well. It's not 100% of their daily allowance, but it is a very excellent source of vitamin D. We actually introduced the kids product in a pouch, and it was due to a specific customer requesting that we bring in this product in kids to fulfill their supply chain during COVID, when they were challenged with getting some kids products.
Sure.
What we found through that introduction is that the product was doing pretty well on shelf, but what we wanted to do was make it even more targeted toward kids. So instead of having the same flavors as adults, we changed over to a few more kid-friendly flavors. So flavors that resonated with children between the ages, I'd say 3 and 8 in this category. So we have 4 flavors, and we converted from a pouch to a Tetra, which has helped us drive profitability. But we also simplified the formula. So it doesn't have quite as much as the adults does, but it's got an excellent source of vitamin D, 0 sugar, which is what parents are looking for. And we recently introduced that into Kroger, Meijer, and then several other smaller natural accounts across the country. So we're really excited to see how that does as well. So I think that's one thing that we're excited about, is not only the ready to drink can offering, but we're expanding into this different category.
That sounds like a really interesting category too. I'm hoping that's something that shows up. Did you say it might already? Do we have that?
It would be through a different route to market. So we could talk to you specifically about that.
Well, hopefully, I don't know. I don't have children, but at the same time, I would try this drink. And I love that we have these kinds of offerings. I think it's really cool that you all are doing that as well.
Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it too, I meant to ask on the bigger can, because I know they're very low sugar in the ready to drink versions, but are those sugar free as well?
Yes, they are. They're sugar free.
Cool.
No added sugars.
What a wonderful world. It's funny to think about how far we've come in that end in just the last few years, even where not only are there a lot of zero sugar offerings that are now, they're pretty widely available, but not just that. I mean, I'm sure we all remember how bad artificial sweeteners used to taste. And now I think we're pretty close to it,
Mm-hmm. And hats off to our flavor, partners, because they've formulated this in a way where you don't get that aftertaste
not at all.
And I love, like, I was recently down in Detroit doing a sampling event,
mm-hmm.
and I love people that seeing their reactions when they first try it, because they think it's going to be like any other flavored water where you get this really light hint of flavor,
right?
And then they drink it and they give you this like, are you kidding me look? And I'm like, I know, right? Isn't this fantastic? And they walk away just blown away, because it is such a bold flavor, which is different to any other flavored water that's on the shelf.
Absolutely. And it tastes natural too. It's not even just bold, but I think when I don't know if I ever sent you that TikTok I made about it, but when they first came in, I maybe we did, but the first thing I was like, well, let's see. And I always like doing beverage reviews very, how should I say, like plainly, bluntly, because I just literally grabbed the first cold can I saw, walked into my office, hit record, and I was like, let's find out. And I think the first thing I said, it was like, oh, they used real fruits in this. Like, to take out the strawberry lemonade, I was like, oh, those are very familiar, and not in the artificial, very cloyingly sweet way. It was like, oh, the lemon was incredibly tart and gave me that kind of the experience I would expect from drinking a strawberry lemonade, for example. I thought that was really cool. I can't say enough good things about it. I've been really enjoying it. The mixed berry one was going very well too for me recently.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, I don't know if when I sent you the samples, did you get our newest flavor, the tropical lemonade?
No, I think mine was.
I
know I had the watermelon. I know I had the coconut lime. The fruit punch was in there. I know we talked about this off air, but I am painfully excited to get back. That's the only flavor they didn't, because so I had put the fruit punch separate in my fridge so I could try it first, and that was like right before I got hurt. And so when they brought me the box back, which had like 6 of the 8 cans or whatever it was,
right?
And I was like, oh, I can't wait. And I opened it up. I was like, oh, the fruit punch is still in my office. Amazing. So but tropical lemonade sounds incredible too. Oh my gosh,
it's really good. It's got less of a citrusy bite to it than the strawberry lemonade.
Sure.
Which makes it really mellow and easy for people to drink.
Yeah.
We haven't released it to retail stores yet.
Okay.
But probably, I don't know, sometime early next year,
Cool.
We'll get it into retail.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to try that one. That sounds awesome.
I'll get you some.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Whatever I can do to sing your praises, please.
That's right.
What is your R&D process like, by the way, for coming up with new flavors, or even, as you said, removing flavors? Like how does that all work on your end?
Well, removing flavors is easier than bringing on new, because that's simply a function of sales, what people like most, and what's best on the shelf. But it's kind of funny, because our process to develop flavors really becomes like a family project. Everyone comes into the office, we get samples from our flavor house, and we all try it. We do some little focus groups, with different folks. And process of elimination, we feedback with, I'd like more strawberry, or I'd like more blackberry, or I don't taste the watermelon. What can we do for that, Okay. And we go back and forth until we get one where we're all, going, yep, that's it. This is the keeper.
Now, Claire, I'll ask kind of the same way, but I think you maybe speak to this. How different is it for you doing something like this in the company, like a smaller company like this, versus your experience at something huge like Coke? I imagine that the experience has got to be pretty wildly different.
It's pretty different. I mean, I think at Coke, we have a very formal innovation stage gate process where you start out with a concept or idea and you test that and you move that through these different stages of approval. And there's a lot of data and research to back up all of your decisions. What I would say in a smaller company is you do always want to start with data or trends, and you always want to keep the consumer in mind first. It's always most important. But there's probably not as much rigor placed around all of the decision making. So we start by looking at what what trends there are in the market from a smaller company. I think what flavor offerings our competition has, where we think we might get some incremental growth. So we don't want to bring in a flavor that's not going to get as much reach as some of the flavors that we are that gets us incremental reach. And then we start talking to our flavor house, and they bring in their insights as well, and put together different options. And much like Michelle said, the team will taste it and will also focus group with smaller, less formal focus groups than a large company would. And obviously bringing things to market as quickly as possible, but we do still ensure that we're doing the appropriate shelf testing before we're launching.
I love that.
Well. So it's, you can definitely leverage some of the things you've learned in the big companies and bring those to the small companies. But in many times you're just moving so much faster and you're agile. And so you're forced to get things done quite a bit quicker.
I love that. That's kind of, it's funny. I can kind of relate to that here, working for an independent company like junglejims versus some of the more corporate jobs that I've had too, where same thing. It's like we have that capability to pivot very quickly. Yes. So you can follow trends a little quicker and you can stay on top of things. That's really unique and interesting. Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I should ask this too. Well, we mentioned tropical lemonade. What else do we have coming down the pipeline? Anything? Hey, can I get a junglejims exclusive? I'll put my little news ticker at the bottom.
Yeah. So tropical lemonade will be a flavor launch for next year. And then we're also potentially looking into a 6-pack. I think that's really going to be dependent upon consumer demand, but it's something that we have already configured. We have flavors available, pricing, packaging, and it will really be dependent upon whether or not customers bring that into their set. And then from a kid's standpoint, since we just launched our Tetra, we'll continue with that and see how it performs before moving into anything new.
That's really cool. I love all this stuff. I get so excited about these, like just seeing how you all work. And then every time I meet with people like yourself, I'm always just like, I love hosting a show, but maybe my real calling was being in the focus groups to try all the beverage flavors.
We'll send you product next time.
I can't wait. Whatever I can do for you, truly. I really have genuinely enjoyed it. And it's been that funny thing where when I started getting like very, heavy on the cabin fever, stir craziness here, I started working those into the regimen every morning. And I'm telling you, for the week that I had those here, I was just like, oh, a little less crying myself to sleep right now. You know what I mean?
And I don't know, Claire, if you mentioned, if I missed it, I apologize. But the coolest part of the kids' drink boxes is that we have this wonderful partnership with Paw Patrol.
Yes.
And I should have brought one with me into the office here. So the kids just gravitated to it on the shelf. And, when it's fun when you have them like on a table at an event and the kids come up and they go, it doesn't matter what the flavor is because they're all good, right?
Right.
But they go to their favorite pup.
Aw.
And so it's just fun to be able to see them enjoy that. And the drink boxes are much easier for them to handle.
Sure.
Easier. They don't spill, the pouches where you squeeze them and it oozes all over the place and makes a mess. It ends
up all over the back seat of the car.
Yeah.
Great ad, Michelle. I should have mentioned that, yes, we have a licensing partnership agreement with Paramount Pictures for Paw Patrol. So we have 8 different Paw Patrol figures on our different packages. So it's really fun.
That's super cute. I bet they'll love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun too. Now I'm just like, oh, okay, great. Well, so I'm drinking more of these than I want to admit too when they show up at the store. Well, ladies, this has been very informative and very enjoyable. I love it. And we'll hit the big notes. 0 sugar, new packaging, 100% of your daily vitamin D in a can. I love it, and I think you're going to love it too. And more importantly, thank you both so much for joining me on here today. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about this.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you having us.
Yeah, of course.
Was fun. Thank you for featuring us.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure, truly. Thanks for making something I love to drink. So I can't wait. I look forward to us connecting when you get to visit in the end of September. We'll do something fun in the store.
Okay, great. I look forward to that.
Me too. Thanks, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming out to talk in detail about this. Really looking forward to that tropical lemonade. That sounds so good. And of course, I know I mentioned it like 30 times. One of the things I'm most excited to go back to my office for is to finally try the fruit punch one. So funny. I miss everybody. I'm like, I've had so many things I just missed out at the store. I wanted to try the pink blueberry. I couldn't get anybody to come down. So That's been the worst part. If you ever get hurt again, just hire a personal chauffeur so you can go places, so you can do what you need. Because one of the hardest things in life in these moments is that people are very sweet. They always want to help you, but they can't always help you in the way that you need or want them to. So keep that in mind. Don't be one of those sad people. It's like, well, no one loves me. It's like, no, they love you. It's just hard to get around. And we live in a city where there's no public transit, but that's a whole different episode. We'll get into that. I'm bummed I missed out on a lot of stuff in the store this summer. It's really it's been messing with me. But this is cool that we're still going to be able to do this. So hopefully it's coming up. So while I'm here also, thank you to everybody who entered the Voice of America Country Music Festival giveaway. We announced those on Instagram. Everybody wrote me back like instantly before I could even post the video being like, you won, because I'd reached out to everybody in the comments. That way I had their information, blah, blah, blah. But that's coming up this week. So hopefully I'll have some good coverage from that. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm trying to get a scooter or something at the festival to test out. We'll see what happens. Anyway, on that, thank you so much for tuning into the episode. I appreciate you all sitting through this kind of weird summer. This is my wheelchair era. And looking forward to it. Well, in the meantime, I'll see you out there in the aisles. We'll pretend.
The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.